Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, like, subscribe. We're heading towards 2,000. We'll be there before we know it. It was a great Monday Night Football game. I hope some of you were able to stay up and watch it. I know as adults, especially on a Monday night, we have things to do with our time. And so if you're on the East Coast and you're trying to struggle through to stay up and watch in a Monday Night Football game or even a Sunday Night Football game, it can be difficult. But I understand that they want to be able to reach out to everybody across the country. And so starting it at 8-something at night is the best way to do that. I'm not foolish enough to not understand that the West Coast matters. But it is difficult for some East Coasters. And so maybe some of you guys did not see how this thing finished. In recap, here's what we know. Running back matters. And before I get into all of the, hey, analytics says don't take a running back in the first round, blah, 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 all that other stuff like that. Look, running back matters. In the place where there's a great running back, teams do well. Now, it doesn't mean that teams don't do well if they don't have a great running back. But in the places where there is a great running back, teams do well. It's that simple. When Christian McCaffrey was out on the field for Carolina, Sam Darnold looked like Joe Montana. The moment Christian McCaffrey is no longer out there, Sam Darnold looks like Sam Darnold. A running game matters. And not just it matters, having a running back that can execute a running game without having upper echelon offensive linemen matters. It matters. I hear all of these people talking about our left tackle is out, our right tackle is out, our guard is out, blah, 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 blah. Man, miss me with that. When you have a great running back, your offensive line want to block for a great running back. They want to block for Derrick Henry. The Titans' offensive line is not the greatest offensive line in the world. Taylor Lewan has been overrated for years. There are not a bunch of first-round draft picks up and down the Titans' offensive line. But they have a guy back there that they believe in. A guy that they believe if we give this dude a crease, he's not only going to bludgeon people, but he could take it 70-plus yards. They have a running back who is as big as a tight end. They have a running back who's as strong as anybody in the country. Yes, it makes a difference, people. Running back is not just throw some dude out there. We'll get 3 guys to replace the production of 1. That's Moneyball talk. That's baseball. The problem with the Moneyball talk in baseball and football is that the people on the other side, they get an opportunity to dictate that. When they look across and they see Derrick Henry, their mood changes. When they go and they look at Jeremy McNicholson or McNicholas, they don't feel any type of way about that. He doesn't strike fear in the hearts of anybody on the other side. You don't think people get more excited to play the Giants when they don't have to deal with Saquon Barkley bouncing in and out like goddamn Tigger? Of course. You don't think teams get excited when they don't have to worry about guarding Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook? It's a difference. And if you don't have one of those guys, if you don't have a legitimate star at running back, and you're not trying to get a legitimate star at running back, everything else better be above board. Everything else better be top notch. Like, you can't tell me I'm trying to win championships with no legitimate running game, and you don't have elite level receivers, and your quarterback doesn't bring anything to the table in the running game, and you don't have a great tight end, and you don't have an elite level defense. Like what are we saying? Because the Titans don't have an elite level defense. That's why they were in a shootout with the Bills. That's why most every Titans game this year and last year has gone over the number. Because the Titans do not have an elite level defense. Now, they made an elite level defensive stand at the end of the game, but that's because, wait for it, the Buffalo Bills don't have an elite level rusher. They have some guys that they don't really believe in. They have some guys that they don't really think can be the bell cow. That's why they keep flipping them in and out. Singletary's a good back. It's a quality back. Moss is a good back. He's a quality back. Josh Allen's a good back. He's a quality back. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say Josh Allen's not a quarterback. I'm saying that when he runs the ball, that's a load. Yet none of them strike the fear in anybody's heart like Derrick Henry does. Josh Allen doesn't strike the fear in the heart of anybody running the ball like Lamar Jackson does. It's just different. And we need to accept that it's different and stop acting as if running back is a position we can just throw away, because it's not. When you have one and he's elite, you're better. It's just as simple as that. When you have a running back and that running back is elite, you're better. Elite at what, Gene? Elite at anything. When you have an elite level running back, you're better. And if you don't believe me, just go look around. Look around at all the teams. Where are the elite level running backs at? I don't mean the running backs that get 1,000 yards, because in 16 games, it's easy to get 1,000 yards. Just get some carries and get about 50, 60 yards a game. You'll get there. And now it's 17 games. It's not as difficult. It's not as difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not as difficult. So when you don't have an elite level rusher, when you don't have a Derrick Henry, because who's been able to run on the Bills this year? Nobody's been able to just run on the Bills. Now, part of that is because the Bills have been able to get leads in some cases where they weren't able, the other team didn't feel like they could continue to run the ball on them. But make no mistake about it. If Ezekiel Elliott's in the backfield, you're worried. And they have Tony Pollard, who is proving to be another quality back. See, that's the difference. You put an elite level back, and then you back him up with a high quality backup. Now all of a sudden the fall off doesn't look so much. Why? Because the backup gets the backup, when he comes in, he gets the same treatment as the starter does, as the elite level guy does. The linebackers don't take a step up or a step back. The safeties don't step back when the backup comes in. They play it the same way as the starter because the backup's coming in and getting quality minutes. That's why Madison up in Minnesota has had success as the backup for Dalvin Cook. Because when you have an elite level rusher, that's what happens. If you look at the production of a guy like Booker in New York, his production would be good if the play calling in New York was one that featured running. But it's not. It's one that features the pass game, short passing. So, okay. But when Saquon's in there, you got to be ready because he could strike at any moment. And that's the difference between having an elite level running back and just another guy. The Browns have two. The starter goes out, Chubb's out, Hunt's in there. You still got to be worried. There's no excuses that can be made. You don't think for a second that the Baltimore Ravens offense would be even more dynamic, even more explosive, even more demonstrative if they had an elite level running back there? They're literally throwing out there three guys who are almost out the league. Keep that in mind. The Baltimore Ravens are throwing out there three guys who are almost out the league. And when they had good, not great running backs, when they had good running backs, they were the most dominant rushing offense in the NFL. And now with just three dudes, three older dudes, three dudes who are on the back ends of their career, they are still effective. Why? Because Lamar Jackson's there. No left tackle, no guard. Lamar Jackson's there. He's to be feared. He's to be respected in the running game and in the passing game. But as a runner, he's to be feared. And so because he's feared, these running backs have lanes to run through. It's the start of the NBA season. Tonight, the Lakers versus the Warriors and the Nets versus the world champion Milwaukee Bucks. I'll tell you this, take the over in that Nets and Bucks game. What is it? 200, like 230 something points? Man, take the over. They're coming out gunning, especially like in the first quarter, first half, take the over. Now I'm a supporter of the Lakers. I've kind of gone away from using the word fan because fan stands for fanatic. I'm not fanatical about supporting people who don't do anything for me. So when it comes to that world, so I am a Lakers supporter. I'm not going to be fanatical about anybody that doesn't bring anything to my life. I have to do everything in order to support theirs. So I am a LeBron James stan, if you will. So I'm not here for any LeBron James slander. You can talk bad about the Lakers. That's cool. We'll see you in the end. The Warriors are going to be a tough out tonight. They're going to be a tough out all year. If they have what I think they have and they're healthy, they're going to light up the scoreboard every single night. It's not even going to be funny. People really are looking at the Nets and going, oh, Kyrie's not there. And I'm going, KD's there. Like, that's how you have to look at certain teams now. You don't have to look at them as, oh, this person's not there, this person's not there. It doesn't matter. If KD's there, you're going to be good. If Kevin Durant's there, you're going to be good. Bottom line. And the sooner we realize that guys like LeBron James and guys like Kevin Durant change the mood, they change everything, they move the needle at a level no other players move the needle at, then we'll be better for it. LeBron James is on your team. You're a championship caliber team. Period. End. Kevin Durant's on your team. You're a championship caliber team. Period. End. Don't give me any other names. I don't want to hear any other names. If they're on your team, you're a championship caliber team. If Giannis is on your team, you got it. Okay, you're in the hunt. If the Claw's on your team, Kawhi Leonard, you're in the hunt. But if KD and LeBron are on your team, then you're a championship level team. You have a chance to get the bag. Speaking of somebody who had a chance to get the bag, Nick Rolovich, the former head football coach of Washington State Cougars, made a decision to not get the vaccine and was fired because state employees in Washington are required to get the vaccine. Do I support Nick Rolovich's decision to not get the vaccine? I support his decision and whatever he wants to do with his life. Do I think that not getting the vaccine should have gotten him fired? Yeah. If that is the rule, if, hey, you can't keep your job if you don't get vaccinated, then yeah. Because for years, we in this country have not been able to do things if we did not get vaccinated. So why are we acting as if it's something new now? Nick Rolovich is not going to be a martyr. And here's the sad news about it for Nick. Where does he go from here? Where do you go from here? Like, you were the head coach at Hawaii, excuse me. You did some decent things there, but I mean, it was still Hawaii. Anything that Rolovich did at Hawaii had been done in Hawaii before. Then you get an opportunity to take over a Washington State team where your offense, very similar to the guy that was there before you who had success at Washington State, but never reached the highest level, and we don't think you're on his level as a coach. So where do you go from here? Again, I support Nick Rolovich's decision to not get vaccinated, and I support the consequences that come when you make that decision. He knew it. He knew it. Washington State knew it. And Washington State's probably not that mad about it. I mean, because what were you really going to get from Nick Rolovich? So now Washington State's back to the drawing board again. Let's try to find somebody else to come up here and do work in the Pac-12. So good luck to coach. I never want to see a coach get fired, but I also understand how the game works. Never want to see a coach get fired. It's always bad. But this is the game. If it is a requirement for your job to do something and you don't do it, they're going to fire you. Period. Let that be a lesson to people out there. Let that be a lesson to the kids. You have the freedom to make choices. You have the freedom to make decisions, but you are not free from consequences. He had the freedom to choose to not be vaccinated. I support that freedom, but he is not free from the consequences when he chooses to do so. So, for instance, if he was to not get vaccinated, then get COVID and pass, that's unfortunate. But he made that decision, and he is not free from consequences. Life lessons, man. It's tough. Who's out here turning down $1 million or letting go $1 million a year jobs? Very few people. Very few people. So it's not like a nurse or a doctor getting fired in New York, where, hey, I just got fired in New York because I'm not vaccinated. I'll just go to another state where they don't have a vaccine mandate and get another job. It's not like there's another Washington state hanging out waiting to hire Nick Rolovich. Hey, Nick, I know you didn't get vaccinated up here. We don't have any vaccine, restrictions down here. Come. There's not another Washington state. Maybe there's another school, but not another Washington state. Not another Power 5 team waiting to do that. Not when you have a 5-6 record. That's not how these things work. So good luck to him. And good luck to anyone else who are out there playing Russian roulette with their career. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me. We do these things a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.